Hello, hello, hello. In today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about growth marketing strategy for small business owners. As a small business owner, you need to have a documented marketing strategy to guide you as well as everyone within your business to understand what your North Star is, to understand your potential and your growth plan moving forward. The goal of this podcast is to help you fill out this information by yourself. You do not need a consultant or anyone. Download a copy of the growth marketing template, strategy template, and then fill out all the questions there. The answers that you fill out in this document will then guide you, will help shape your thinking and your marketing moving forward. I do understand that most business leaders, most business owners, commercial directors, sales directors don't always have a marketing background. But what this document will help you understand is the questions that you need to answer to be able to have a structured, growth related marketing strategy and activity. I'm going to be talking about this in 6 sections. I'm going to talk about your brand. I'm going to talk about how you do situation analysis that would help you understand the current situation of your business, and then the operating model and system that you need to use to execute your marketing. And then I'm going to talk about the growth phases, the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of your growth. You might be in any of these phases, but this is important. And then the measurement, your commercial acumen that you need to be able to go forward. So the first question you need to ask yourself as a business owner when you're looking at your brand is, what problem does your business exist to solve? When a lot of organizations are asked or they're talking about branding, it's a very, very vague, people don't understand what it means. But these questions, if you're able to think and answer this question, you're essentially solving your brand strategy. You're answering those information that would then feed into your performance marketing. All the information that you answer and provide in this template will relate directly to your marketing channels. I'll talk about that at the end of the podcast. But let's start with, ask yourself your question as a business owner. What problem does your business exist to solve? That problem is the reason why people will buy from you. You're solving a problem for your customers and they're giving you money in return, and you're making profit from that problem. You need to solve a problem for the customers for them to exchange money with you. If you take money from your customers without solving their problem, you get bad reviews and you not get customers to come back to you. So the first question from a brand story perspective is for you to ask that question. Then the next question you want to ask is, what exactly makes you and your company different to the competitor? Why will a customer buy from you as opposed to your competitor? Again, you need to answer this question in this template to be able to understand your customer's thinking, to be able to understand how to position yourself against your competitor. Because as far as everyone is concerned, when you're trying to buy something, you're going to look at different options. You're not just going to pick one company and then buy from them. You're going to look at 2 or 3 options. And the reasons why you're going to choose one is because the one you chose is the best of the bunch. So once you as a business owner are able to articulate what makes you different from your competitor, then you have good success down the line. Then another question you want to ask is exactly what gap exists in the market that you as a business are feeling that your competitor is not feeling it. I'll give you an example. I worked with a medical doctor a while back. I'm not going to disclose the details, but this medical doctor had a service tailored to specific ethnicity. So it's not possible to not understand who our target audience is. And that helped her differentiate herself from the competitor. And that helped her also narrow down the gap that is existing in the market that the competition wasn't feeling. Then as a business, you also want to identify, what do you value more as a business? If you value profit, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you value profit, do you value that profit long term, or are you just looking to make a quick buck? Some organizations would do everything they can to get a customer, and they would not pay attention to how they retain that customer. Whilst you think you're getting profit by just getting some customers as quick as possible, you're not making as much profit if you're not able to retain them. I'm going to talk more about that down the line. And then one question you need to answer when it comes to your brand again is, what exactly makes you different? What are your values? So in this document, this growth marketing strategy template, you need to go and fill out your values and actually explain what those value means in real life, what it means in practice. Some people will say honesty is their value. Some people will say they want to be dependable. It's good to say all those fluffy things. What exactly does that mean in the context of your customer? Then you also need to look at the tone of voice that you use for your brand. It needs to be consistent across your website, your social media, even if you have a physical location, and even your sales team. Your brand voice, your brand tone of voice needs to be consistent across the board. And how do you know what your brand voice is? Ask yourself the question, what exactly is our brand voice? And then go into this growth marketing template and write it out. Once it's written, everybody within your organization understands it. And this document is not just meant for you as a business owner alone. It's meant for you to distribute within your team to help them have a understanding, top-down understanding of what your brand voice means. And then part of your brand voice is to understand the kind of words and phrases and things that you do want to communicate in your communication to your customers. So you need to write this down, the phrases that you use in your brand voice and the phrases that you try to avoid, the personality that you try to avoid as well. So I mentioned earlier on about your situation analysis. When, as a business owner, it's easy for you to start a business or run a business that business is purely from passion. You're just passionate about what you do, and that's the reason why you're doing what you do. You're not aware that you actually don't have a total addressable market. There's actually no market, no number of customers in the market that wants to buy what you offer. So ask yourself the question, look at the statistics like your census data. There'll be information about whatever segment or whatever industry you are in that will give you an understanding of what your total addressable market is. You're probably not going into a new market if you have existing people in that market where you're new there, or you're innovating on a service or a product that already exists. That market that already exists is what you need to find out, what exactly is the total addressable market. And then you want to understand, of that market segment, how much of that market do the competitors already have, and which of the competitors are not growing or they're declining. All this information will help you with your positioning and will help you with your strategy. But if you're not asking that question, if you don't have a huge addressable market, then why start that business? Why invest in that business? Why expand? Then you start looking, okay, do you want to diversify? This is why it's important that you fill out this growth marketing template to help you understand what exactly is happening in the industry that you operate in. And is there like a segment within that industry that is underserved that you can maybe create a new product or service to serve those segments? Part of your situation analysis is also to identify your direct and your indirect competition. Make no mistake, you always have indirect competition. Those ones might be the alternative to your product. They're not exactly competing with your product or service directly, but they're alternative. A good example would be like a marketing agency, for example. Their indirect competitor is AI tools, because a lot of businesses know that, oh, I don't need a huge marketing team. I can get an AI, teach that AI to execute marketing for me. So whilst a marketing agency will see other marketing agencies as competitor, their indirect competitor is actually those AI tools. So again, the next section you need to look at is, what exactly are your success factors? What motivates? This is where you kind of design your value proposition, your offer. What exactly motivates customers to buy from you, and why would they choose you over your competitor? This is like 6 statements that you need to fill out. Don't gas yourself. Don't hype yourself that, oh, we're the greatest thing since sliced bread. No, you need to be objective. What exactly motivates customers to buy from you? If it's price, put it there. If it's reliability, put it there. If it's speed of delivery, put it there. This will also flesh out your strength and your weaknesses as it relates to your competitor. So once you fill this out, again, this information you need to share with your whole entire team and even your agency. This is supposed to be filled out by the business owner, not your agency. I see a lot of organizations, a lot of business owners make the mistake to delegate your marketing strategy to an agency or even a consultant. It should be collaborative. You as a business owner should download this growth marketing strategy template, fill it out in collaboration with your leadership team or a marketing consultant like myself. And if your agency is a full service agency, you can also bring them on board. If you ask some organization and some business owners who their target customer is, they will say everybody. And the reason why they say everybody is they want to get as much customer as possible, because the idea is, oh, we can grow. The more customers, if we serve everybody, we'll get more customers. That's not how it works in reality, because if you're targeting everyone, then your messaging is disjointed. You're not really clear. The only way for you to get that clarity is to create your customer persona. Ask yourself the question, who is your customers that buy the most from you? If you already have an existing customer base, look at the ones that have a high frequency of purchase from you, your service or your product. Then try to understand, how old are they? What is their location? What is their purchase power? And what's their motivation to buy from you primarily? What exactly motivates them to buy? And if they're not going to buy from you, what stops them from buying from you? What are the friction points that stop them from buying from you? Understand that I'm saying your high value, consistent customers that have high order value, that have the number of the amount of product and service they buy from you is the highest. That is your number one customer persona. The number two is the one that is in the middle ground. They buy from you. Sometimes they go quiet. They buy in bulk sometimes. Those people, you need to also understand their location, their spending pattern, the reason why they will hesitate to buy from you, the friction points, all this thing. And then you have another third persona. Those are the people that are not loyal at all. They would buy from you, buy from your competitors. Some of them are very, very price sensitive. Sometimes this is a problem that businesses create when they compete on price. I'm going to talk about that later on. But when you have these three personas cleared out, documented, then you're able to know how to apportion your marketing budget. You know how to apportion your content design and your content targeting to all these three personas. Then another thing you want to look at is you want to drill down into your competitors as well. You want to know exactly what those competitors offer. And the goal is for you to understand why they're different and how they're different. You want to understand how they're positioning themselves from a price perspective. Are they positioning themselves as cheap? Are they positioning themselves as premium? How are they positioning themselves? And you want to understand their strength, their weaknesses, and what opportunities you can see from studying them. And the only way for you to gather this competitor intelligence is not to think about it and, oh, our competitors are doing this. It's good for you to just think about that, but you need to document it as a business owner. And you need to regularly update it because your competitors will be evolving. Maybe they get new acquisition, they get new funding. And God help you if your competitor get new funding and they have a stronger marketing budget. If you're not paying attention to them, you will not know how to respond to them. A lot of marketing tools will give you competitor intelligence. But what I want you to understand is most of these are superficial and they're just crawling the internet to get that information. But you can get more competitor intelligence by actually talking to your customers. Maybe you get a new customer, you ask them if they've already patronized your competitor, and if they have, you ask them the question to understand why did they come to you, or why did they, even the customers that have left you, why did they leave you to your competitor? Those kind of competitor intelligence, qualitative intelligence are some things you might not be able to get online. That is why it's important to harness the information you have within your business and talk to your customers to fill out this competitor intelligence section. Then another thing you want to look at is the pricing. I mentioned pricing as well. What exactly is your price strategy? How do you compete with your competitor when it comes to pricing? Are you just setting the price of your product and service based on what your competitor price is? Are you reactive? What I want you to avoid is using price as the main motivation for your customer. If you teach your customer to be all out about pricing, you are going to eat into your profit margin. Your margins, it's going to eat in quickly because you're not only going to motivate them to buy, you're also training them not to buy, because once your customer knows that, okay, this person is always going to reduce their price. I just have to wait. They're going to hold off making those purchases until you reduce the price. So as a business owner, you want to be really strategic to understand what exactly influences your prices and how does your price impact on your revenue and your profit margin. If your prices are too high and the customers can't really afford it, and even when they do afford it, your costs and your revenue, like the margins are not really that wide, you're not making as much profit. And if your price is also affecting the ability for your customers to consistently buy from you, then you're reducing the return purchase, the return visits, and even acquiring new customers. So download a copy of this growth marketing strategy and fill out the information. That information, again, will guide your thinking. And one thing a lot of small business owners struggle with is their marketing team's capacity and capability. The reason why is because when you look at your marketing, where are you at the moment? Most business owners sometimes don't have a marketing background, and the ones that do have a marketing understanding read it from online articles and blog and information they consume, which is good. But the only problem with those information is those information are generic. They're not really tailored for your business. So as a consultant and as a marketing expert with a master's in marketing and hands-on experience, what I would tell you is whoever is handling your marketing can be one of these two things. That person can be reliant on external agency, or that person can have a mindset of building an in-house marketing capacity. Let me repeat, some of the marketing people that is out there for you as a business owner to work with, if you're trying to get them in-house, some of them will just rely on external agencies. They're just account managers. That is not what you want for your growth marketing strategy. You want someone that believes in building in-house capability. You also want someone that is a qualified marketer. Statistics shows that more than 60% of people working in marketing don't have a marketing background. Some people are really good, but you cannot deny the effectiveness and the importance of having a marketing background. It's like saying 70% or 60% of the medical doctors in your area do not have a medical degree. Would you go to them? No, you would run. But in the context of marketing, everybody is an expert. But the fundamentals of marketing is important. So as a business owner, you need to make sure that the fundamental skill of marketing is present in whoever you're hiring to help your marketing. And in some instances, you don't actually need to hire someone. You can work with a fractional CMO or growth marketing consultant like myself on a part-time basis, where the work that you would hire someone to do full-time, I can do that for the next 12 months and help you create a marketing system that is self-reliant, and you can just have regular weekly meetings to make sure that the marketing is running and everything is set up correctly. So again, you need to build the in-house marketing capability. So when you start thinking about your marketing tactic, what channel do you want to approach your marketing with? You first need to establish your baseline. And those baseline information are like, what exactly is your cost per acquisition for each customer? And how long does it take for you to make profit on each customer? How long do you need to retain a customer before you start making profit? Then ask the question, how long does it take for you to retain that customers, and how much is the customer churn rate? What's the percentage of customers that are leaving you as opposed to the customers that are staying with you? When you ask this question and you fill out this in this template, it starts giving you a clearer picture of what you need to do. And then once you have all this information, the question then is, what is your budget for the next 12 months? How much are you going to spend on each marketing channel? What exactly are the 2 to 3 marketing channels that are most effective for you? I've seen a lot of organizations where they spend all their marketing budgets earlier on, and towards the end of the year, there's not a lot of marketing budget left. Some would not want to spend as much at the beginning of the year, and towards the end of the year, they want to spend everything as quick as possible because there's the worry that the account team, if they see you didn't spend the marketing budget, they might reduce your marketing budget moving forward. So these are the kind of questions you need to ask yourself. You want a consistent monthly marketing budget, and you also want to factor in all the seasonal period, your Father's Day, your Valentine's Day, your Mother's Day, your Black Friday. Sometimes you need to spike up your marketing budget But when you structure your marketing budget into 12 months consistently, your brand messaging, your brand awareness is constantly in the face of your target customer, then you have that potential of growth. But if you spend your marketing budget without structuring it on a monthly basis, then you have a problem. And then as a business owner, you either want to grow your business, to expand it into new regions, new locations, new product ranges, new service type, or you want to exit. These are the kind of information you need to write down. So whatever you're doing in your marketing, you're moving through that goal. Whoever is going to buy or take over your business and make you retire early would want certain metrics, certain commercial metrics that would encourage them to buy. What are those metrics? They want to know your profit. They want to know how profitable you are. They want to see your growth. They want to see your market share. All this information are important, but if you have failed to invest in branding, fail to invest in the right marketing capacity and capability within your business, then you will have a problem down the line. So it's important to then look at each marketing channel, as I mentioned earlier on, and then understand the ones that are most effective for your high value customers, your second customer persona, and then the third that I mentioned earlier on. For you to be able to create an effective marketing strategy, I would encourage you to download a copy of this growth marketing strategy template. It's a template that I created for business owners. You do not need a marketing background to be able to fill out this template. Once you fill it out, it will ask you questions that will make you think, questions that will guide your decision-making process when it comes to marketing. And you can book a 30-minute session with me. I can help you fill out this information, ask you more important questions that are more tailored to your business and your organization, and also look at what investments you need and what tools you already have in place when it comes to marketing technology. My name is Femi Olajiga. If you are listening to this podcast for the first time, I want you to click on the like button, share, leave a review, leave a feedback. If you enjoyed this episode, I'm going to be creating more episodes for business owners, commercial directors, people that marketing reports into that don't necessarily have a marketing background. Those are my target audience. So I'm helping you understand all the jargon in marketing. I want to bring marketing to you in plain English. Again, I'm a growth marketing consultant. I am available for coaching sessions. You can book me for a 2-hour coaching. I can help you create your marketing strategy. I'm also available as a fractional CMO, a fractional growth marketing consultant that I'll work with you for 12 months to help you set up your marketing, train your team internally, and help you be sustainable on your own. So yeah, if you need help with your marketing, contact me and I'll be glad to help you. In the next episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking more about brand strategy. I'm going to be giving you step-by-step guide and templates that you can use yourself. So even if you do not want to hire or you cannot afford a marketing consultant, this growth marketing template in this episode, just download a copy, fill it out. It will do you a world of good. Thank you very much and see you in the next episode. Cheers. Bye.